Hi, John. It's Monday, today, 22nd of September 2014. Now, today I went up to the Auckland Central Police Station to see Detective Inspector Gary Davey. Some time now I've been writing to him and putting articles on Facebook to come and see him because I was recommended through the CIB, Philip Taylor in Otahu, because this is a criminal case and he's an ex-lawyer, lawyer. So today I'm very disappointed because I took this letter to him, went through a lot of trouble to write 8 pages of a letter and also a typed letter to him with the last 6 pages of the warrant. Okay, so I'm going to address it to Aaron Pasco, Detective, Senior Detective, Criminal Investigator Aaron Pasco. So he was the detective who led the Tuhoi tribal police raids on terrorism, and he's got all the documents from me for that block of land, and there's nothing he doesn't know about it. In fact, I gave him a warrant on him and put him in the dock box, and that went to the High Court of Admiralty in London, the highest court in the world. So he rings me up and says, I don't want to get in a contract with you, John, Mr. Wanoa. But it's too late. It's too late. It's gone on record because the trouble with people in this country is the ignorance of law, and especially the law that I'm dealing with, Admiralty, court martial law. Now, just to let you know, the government here and the police are using Admiralty law from Australia and their land titles, the Land Information New Zealand titles on this 61 Cook Street block of land. So, I wanted to make dead certain, legally, that there was no way anyone was going to contest this title, the claim of the original title from Glasgow, Scotland, of a British title on these Auckland lands that I wanted registered on the documents of 61 Cook Street on the 16th of October, I think it is, 2008, or December 2008. So they failed, they refused to register our interest as the original landlords on the title with the mortgage documents. Not forgetting that any mortgage document in this country has come from King William on the seals that we have here. On the document you'll see the seal here on our new sheriff's badge, okay? We're putting Jamie Patrick Stewart Ngata, my secretary, and private prosecutor is making our sheriff's badge, which will have this King William Admiralty seal. That's the jurisdiction on that badge, right? You've got the flag on one side of this flag, okay? That's the Constitution, 1835 Constitution. That's another problem that Aaron Pasco is going to have. He's got no Constitution that's been passed through Westminster Parliament because they cut their link off in continuity from Britain. So that means they're sailing around in the ocean with no paddle, although they've got a paddle for their constitution or jurisdiction of Admiralty. And we have a seal of King William on his horse and his ship, 50 years of it, in the Navy, right? There, against his paddle of Australia, New Zealand, Canada and America, using a paddle for their jurisdiction of admiralty. Okay, their court martial won't stack up to this and the sheriff's badge. Okay, so I'm going in there with the sheriff's badge, right, to see what has he got to say when I go and take the property on Wednesday. I'm going to take the property, 61 Cook Street, on Wednesday. It's supposed to be today, but I've delayed it because they failed to answer my letter. Okay, failed to answer my letter here, personal letter. To you'll see these on Facebook. You'll see these letters on Facebook. 8 pages. Okay, I'll put another 2 on today, just to make sure that the man I'm dealing with at the top end, this is the last straw for the police, because the CIB is eliminated, right, as any jurisdiction over these documents I've got, authenticated. This is an authenticating seal, people in the world. This is a king's authentication of a seal on our documents. When you see this on the warrant, there's the warrant, that goes. The king is everything. The King's Bench is in Plymouth, in England. We're going straight from there, from that courthouse. When we go there, Jamie and I, and the other ones, you might as well say all the yes voters of the referendum will go with Glasgow, because that's what King William is. He's a Glasgow Scot, okay? He's the king of the Hanovers, Germany, and he's the king of Ireland, and the king of the Scots, and king of England. That's how many kings he's on this seal. Now, you can't put a paddle up against that with Aaron Pasco when he meets me, if he's going to meet me tomorrow morning. I'm going up there to see him and take these documents personally to him, and those other 80 pages of the warrant, the rest of this will be on Facebook tonight. Right? I'm just telling you on this video that I'm going to copy these letters down there and re-sign them, take Detective Inspector Gary Davey's name off it, because he's no longer in a contract with me, and because he gave instructions to the receptionist, right? I videoed it, and gave the instructions to him to tell me to contact Aaron Pasco, right? Little did he know, I've already had conversations with him about this. It was him, Aaron Pasco, that said to me in the first place, it's not a good idea to go on that block of land. As soon as he said that, he broke my contract with being a third party in making decisions for police. I'm going to tell you now, if you're watching this video, Aaron Pasco, that tomorrow when I come to see you, which is the 23rd, Tuesday the 23rd of September 2014, when I come and see you tomorrow, I will be there to make sure that you have to tell me which oath are you swearing to. Who are you swearing your oath to, for one? Okay, before you can enter any more discussions with me. And two, you must tell me which jurisdiction are you using, if anything, on that land block as a third party, right? He's stuck in a third party once he starts talking to me, because I'm going about my business, right, to salvage with my sheriffs, with my advocates, with my surrogate as King of England, right? I'm the surrogate for the King of England, King William IV, okay? So I'm talking as if I'm the King of England there in his regalia, okay? King William IV, okay? And his crown right there on his head, that's his crown, and of Scotland, okay? So the land titles that we're dealing with on that block of land is Scottish, and all those voters will come and join us in Plymouth and Glasgow, because Jamie and I will go to Glasgow and we will form the Moai King William government in Westminster, right, from Plymouth. We will set up the King's Bench Court on his land, will use these warrants to seize his estate, which is still there being rented out, the same way as this estate here being rented out as if it's the Queen's property. She's got a problem with me because she hasn't got a contract. She hasn't got a contract with the King. We have. We have the contract with this flag. This is the flag contract. Now, if anybody's using this flag of the Rothschilds or the Queen, you're in trouble as a third party to this seal authenticating all these documents. Okay, so when I take another order, right, when I take another order to Aaron Pasco tomorrow, he will libel all of the 15,000 plus police in the police force under this seal and indict the whole lot of them, right? They will get billed a levy debtors defaulted bill against Doug Rickard Bell and all his accessories linked to Queen Elizabeth as accessories to her fraud as a default convicted criminal fellow. She is in the World Court. We're going there to the World Court with our chiefs and hapu here to take our claim into the World Court. On top of that, I'm going straight to the World Court myself and into Westminster with our own complaint, right, which is these titles here and anybody trying to stop us. Okay? So you're in for a rough ride, all you people who are voting for John Key, because he's in the dock box. Here, he's in the dock box on these documents. These are just the last pages, the last 6 pages, and of the warrant. Now there's Doug Rickard Bell there, you see? So that's on in 2008, and his warrant from with Queen Elizabeth to the World Court here. Okay, so I'm just telling you, it's not a very good idea to try and stop us going on to that block of land at Cook Street. Okay, it's not a very good idea for anybody, and in particular the police, to get involved with us. Now this last page is here. You'll see it on the last page. You'll see this document here, right? That's the receipt of the account of $8 for the road, the title of the road they forged. This was the Land Information Survey General Don Grant forged this little road and dumped all the investors into the little road and discharged it. Right? This is the offence of the whole deal that's brought that whole property into fraud. Caught them in a fraud, right? Caught them in a fraud there, and caught them in a fraud under Section 145 of the Land Act for not putting our names, the original names of around the William Cornwallis Simons Admiralty Court titles of King William. Right? All the titles from Britain came through this man and his Admiralty mortgage liens. Okay? So they've left them out. They've actually left them out of everything for themselves. If they're using King William and his authority, they're in trouble with me and our hapu and our authority. Okay? If you haven't got any of these things with this seal on, you're in trouble. So I'm taking this seal with a document just for Aaron Pasco tomorrow to bill debt charge all policemen in this country. You'll have a problem. And the Commissioner of Police, the last Commissioner of Police, Peter Marshall, failed to reply to me, to our affidavits or to any letters that I put together. Even Aaron Pasco failed to answer to affidavits, right? And there he is saying, read my affidavit to Tuhoe, when the lady over there said, what authority have you got? I'm not a terrorist. He says, read my affidavit. You see, so I'm reading the affidavit out to him tomorrow and say, read my affidavit. if you can't read English, you're going to end up in prison. Okay? That's what's going to happen to him tomorrow. And they should not take me on. They should not underestimate me and the flag. Right? They should not do that. If the police are a law unto themselves with no jurisdiction, and those the Parliament's in trouble. The Parliament's in trouble for passing acts of Parliament without consent from Westminster, and the Queen has no say in passing acts without us, because we still got a contract in Westminster under the 1865, 1852 Constitution and the 1835 Constitution. We've got two constitutions running. They cut the 1852 Constitution off this country. That's them. That's John Key and Labour and National, and all those politicians are debtors in this flag of jurisdiction. Another thing, in the voting, the latest voting, there's only 1.2 out of 4.4 million people voted. What's happened to the rest of those people? You see? And if those people are wise enough, they'll go this way under something concrete. Okay? I'm just saying, now's your chance to switch into the King of England and Scotland as being the Scottish is the backbone of all the titles in the Commonwealth countries, and yet the Queen is running all over them, right? Is running and calling them names for trying to go and break off the Union. Well, they can break off themselves. When we go into Westminster with them, there's a public statement to those people in Britain that are not happy with Westminster, then we'll change it. We'll change the whole system, and there we'll force a referendum in there with John Patterson and George Lees. He's a professor, ex-professor. John Patterson is an ex-criminal detective, around about there somewhere, and also Gordon Bowden. Those are just some of the people I know. I don't know where Greg Hallett is, but anyway, we have to carry on. And you'll find that Matt Taylor, he's waiting for us there. I'm sorry we're a bit late, Matt, but we have to do this. We have to sort one land block out, just one land block, and make it really, really tight on tying it up once and for all, because you've got the Rothschild. I see now that the Russians want to get rid of all the Rothschild families. You see? Now they're starting to talk about where the problem is. It's the Rothschilds, all right. They're the ones that married into Queen Victoria and stuffed this lot up. Stuffed this lot up. Right? Stuffed this lot up. And the banks and got greedy. I'm just checking my list again, just to make sure I haven't missed anything for this finale tomorrow. Because I just want to make this statement public, because everything is on record here on Facebook, and all these documents, don't forget, they're sealed by the King of England. Okay? So it's awake now. The bench is open for business. When we go around, when we walk around, me and Desmond and Jamie and Dean Murray, we are private prosecutors under this flag. Okay? Now, I must warn anybody who is trying to think about trying to follow what we do without authority of the seal, of King William's seal, this way. Okay? Because these are contracts. Do not play around with contracts, because it'll backfire on you if you think you can do it in Australia, Canada, America and New Zealand. Do not try this at any time without our authority, because it's coming straight from Westminster and the High Court of Admiralty in London. We have a lot of respect for, but not the Queen's Bench. They have a problem because of their acts of Parliament are fraudulent. Okay, the acts of Parliament in New Zealand are fraudulent because they have constructed the 86 Constitution, and it wasn't their business to, because it's a contract, the 1852 contract with us. That's our contract with Britain, right? The original owners. And they're not owners. These people are not owners of this land. If they can show an original title, that's the problem, because they're only using the land and occupying the land. I'm going in there with this occupation order. Occupation order. Everyone in this country, in the Commonwealth, are only occupying the land they're on. Right? Occupying, paying for occupation by taxes. Okay? And there's a problem with the taxes here too, in the Inland Revenue. I know what to do. I know what to do and how they're doing it to collect the money. Now, I'll just say this again. Those people on Cook Street, you watch this video, I'll be down to see you to give you a new contract and declaration, because we can go straight into it. You're already on the land. We just give the new one and null the last one to James Brown and Simon Roundtree. Okay, they have to go because we got an eviction order on them and with these letters. Okay, we've asked them to leave, otherwise they're going to lose the lot. They'll lose it. They can't go back to get their money back. They'll lose. And the police, we're just drumming it into the police so they're educated about how this works. They are not private prosecutors, right? The police are not private prosecutors for themselves, the owners of the land, right? They are only there to protect the public, right? Now, they can't protect criminals, can they? They can't protect criminals and their associates and all those who feed off the spoils of what they sold on the land. They've sold stolen land titles, okay? They've sold illegally, dealing in land transactions. And one thing is this, the land copyrights don't belong to them. They belong to the Scottish company, the Manukau Land Company, okay? Okay, just to let you know, and we are the recipients of that. There's no sign of it anywhere on their documents, just history of, oh, this man here drowned, Cornwallis, drowned mysteriously at 31 years old in 1841, right? 1 year after he arrived here with these documents of mortgage titles on these lands in Auckland, right? He died mysteriously, and these got whipped off, right? Whipped off by this Australian company that this policeman is talking about, right? All these companies that are operating here are operating from Australia, land titles, and Maori land titles are Australian titles. But Te Ture Whenua Native Land Acts in 1993 belong to us. It's a contract between us and the British Westminster government. Nothing to do with the government here, because they've cut themselves off and they have no right to use it, no legal right to use it. Yet they're using it on these land blocks. Okay? They're using our acts for their incorporations and their corporate businesses, including the police business. Right? We can null it with this. We can null anything if they get up to any tricks. That's what I'm saying, Matt. With these people over here and the police. That policeman, Aaron Pasco, if he as much as says, no, you can't go on to that section, we'll arrest you, there he becomes target enemy himself, apart from anybody else, because he opened his mouth and started talking for himself, right? Not for anybody, for himself, to save face of the police and their corrupted police minister, Judith Collins, who's gone, right? The corrupt woman who's got a Chinese husband with the milk company is going to get billed the lot. They're going to lose it, man. They're going to lose the lot with a warrant from this court. Okay? Just telling you. After we finish with Cook Street, poof, we're down to pick any of the land that's fraud. And you'll find, Matt, it's all rife for business. Okay? So I'll just finish this off and just check this through and see if I missed anything. So we've got the CIB eliminated, right? They didn't want anything to do with it. That was Phil Taylor in Otahu, CIB, and the CIB today, Gary Davey, right? Detective Inspector and ex-lawyer Right? Lawyers don't want to get involved with this. The lawyers are in trouble. The lawyers are in trouble. The judiciary is in trouble in this country. In any country under the Queen. Everything the Queen touches is now poison. Right? Poison chalice. Okay? Everything that's got her head on it still in the courts above the judge, the Queen's crown is still there. They can't get rid of it. They're stuck to it. Right? It's become a debtor's instrument. So we're going to set, well, we've already got the King's Bench going now, and from Plymouth, right now, even before I get there, we're going to organise everything. Before I go, and Jamie, we're going to organise everything there, so when we get there, boom, we start writing these out, Matt. We start writing debt letters for everything, and then print the money off, okay, in pound notes, and against all the debtors, then pay the military, police military, to go and get all the spoils brought back into our trust, right? The King's Bench Trust, right? Not the Queen. On the badge you'll see 8 points, right? And the seal of King William, right? The Admiralty, court martial. It's the court martial, right? We've got the court martial, and the 8 points we're removing Queen Victoria off it, right? Why? It's because it's corrupted. Everything the Queen has corrupted of the Queen Victoria, then it defaults back to King William before that, right? Past King George, back to King William, the Admiralty, creator of Admiralty mortgage liens, okay, in his parliament. And you'll see all the acts inside the warrant. You'll see the acts of King William, all of them, and the Hanging in Chains Act 34, okay? You'll see that in there. We can use that on anyone who breaks this in any country, right? Who violates this seal. Aaron Pasco, I'm just telling you, we have that option of hanging anybody here. It doesn't matter what anybody says, because that's the law of King William. Okay, it's still there. Institute law in the lower house in Westminster. All we have to do is put it into the upper house of Lords, which is the King's Bench. Right? House of Lords is the King's Bench, where the money is. Okay? We're not going into the King's Bench court, in the Rolls building, because there's no money in there. They just collect it for the King in Parliament. Okay? Parliament pays your wages in the courts. Right? So we're going straight in the court in Parliament. Okay? From the courthouse, the King's Bench courthouse in Plymouth will be a standalone with all the documents and this flag flying high. That will be the only court in the world that can write warrants. Okay? Write warrants to arrest anybody under this court martial order. And all the other court martials will be seized of Obama and Australia, New Zealand and Canada. They'll be stripped off them, right? With the order, with these orders, Matt. That's what I'm saying, okay? So I'll just finish this off, and that's the end of this video for now. So we got, well, been through all that. So the CIB is out, and the SFO, Serious Fraud Office here, have said they can't see any fraud. Okay? They can't see any fraud. The SFO in London hasn't replied. Right? Hasn't replied. So that's disappointing, because they are also in fraud. We'll do it over there. When I get there, then we'll go and get it. Okay? And sort them out, just like how we're doing here. So there's no need to try and escape out of this one, Aaron Pasco. So that's that. We've been through that. Just clear this out. So we've gone through there. Yeah, so that was really all, was the badge and the flag on this side. Our sheriffs will be authenticating their documents, will have the seal on it and the badge. So whenever you see a badge with 8 points on it, one of those points is for the King of England and the British people and all the settlers that came from there around the world. They'll come under that. And the other points is the 7 states of the world, and also the 7 wakas from the Pacific Islands. But the 8 points of this flag has gone around the world. Okay, it's going around the world, and it'll be in 8 major states. Okay, 8 major states, 8 living wonders of the world. Okay, that's what this flag is. It's free passage for all of that. So I think I've gone through enough. And look out tomorrow and on Facebook tonight for this video, and also for these documents. You'll see it's got everything. There's everything in it to levy anyone who interferes with anyone carrying these documents, okay, or sends them out to you. So they've got warning notice on them not to use them. If anybody's found to be using or falsifying or copying these documents for use, they'll get the documents set on them. Okay, the documents will turn on them and they'll lose everything. Okay, they'll lose everything. Okay, thank you very much. And I'm pleased with Jamie today because she's worked on the seal, the badge, the sheriff's badge. I made one, but it doesn't look flash. But it just gave an indication of what it is on my t-shirt that's got a flag already in it. And so to our people down the East Cape, Tamati Reid rang me up. To you guys, I'll be down there shortly. Just let you know that I've been sorting this out tomorrow with the land block. Once I step on that land, then you know I'll be down home to have a feed of crayfish and powers and kinners and snappers and all those things we're missing so badly here and need some energy. So before we go to Westminster. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to our projects and putting that and starting it straight away because we have big things to do. And also to get our land blocks going, I will contact Dick Tude on the Haha block to get access to the Te Pito. That's our own Uetaha ancestral land and stream to our history, to Rapanui, to Mokanui, to Marangaro Marae. We're going to change the name back to Marangaro Marae, because that's our Marangaro land blocks, and that's the marae for those land blocks. Straight from there, straight through, there was maraes all around there, through there, straight to Te Pito, because that's linked up to Ra, the sun god, our history. That's our Uetaha and Rongamai Tapui. That marae in Te Araroa is Rongamai Tapui. It's not Hineropa Marae, it's Rongamai Tapui, okay? That's the wife of Uetaha. Those 2 chiefs, right around Potikirua, Ki Waiapu boundary area. All that titles, all that land, it comes under that title. Okay, don't argue, because we've got those. I'm warning those people, do not be ignorant anymore, because nothing's going to save you than this military rule from now on. And Loddon Point, the motel, to the owners there, Ducky and Bruno, you better go back to your lawyer and get your money back. That's what I'm telling these people on Cook Street. You better go back to your lawyer and get your money back in the Land Information Office, because they're obliged to pay you whatever you want back. You go and try it. Go back. I'm warning you, because Desmond will be down with this and a warrant badge, okay? And the police have to assist us, okay? I just tell that fella Neil Watt step aside when he comes with the warrant, because there'll be a military behind him and police, okay? Because I'm educating the police that they've got it all wrong with iwis. Their iwis are out, okay? Their iwis are off our land, and more so, I was just telling Tamati, the Takimona Maori government has every right. I'm happy with all their documentation of their government, but I wasn't too happy about them going to the UN and Westminster without us and our history. that's floating around the world now and being looked at quite seriously, right, as being in order, especially all the land blocks here under the Rogan titles on those land blocks and the Rogan titles of Manukau up in the Kaipras and Auckland here are one of the same Wanoa and the Manukau family with the Rogans in England. Okay? Do not argue with that because they come under King William titles. Glasgow. That's the trouble with David Cameron ignoring the Scottish people from Glasgow, because this is Glasgow. Okay? That's the titles. The lien instruments, the mortgage debtors levy belongs to us, the copyrights. Now, with Glasgow, plead to them that we will meet up and we will form ourselves in Plymouth and Glasgow to stitch this together in Westminster. Okay? We're going into Westminster, no matter what. Matt, you just get it ready. Get the bagpipes ready too. Okay? Because we're going to come in there full horns blowing flat out. Okay? So that's our East Coast people. Matt, you must come here one day and bring your family to the East Coast. It's a beautiful place. And to Sunekura for the Confederation. I'm hoping that I'll get to see you in Gisborne and all those our whānau there, Hapu and Gisborne, be waiting and for us. It's taken this long to sort out. It was only going to happen now. There was no other time in this day and age that this was ever going to happen. It was going to happen around now. I just had to wait. I couldn't go ahead myself without taking everything into account. One is no good without the other. You had to have the spirit too. The spirit is in Te Pito, back to Marangaro Marae, okay? The spirit of the East Cape and the Sun Ra is on the Urupa in Moko Nui, on our family land. And that's the Maori to the whole of the East Cape, because no other families have got the maraes spread around the whole area than what our family has been involved and been ignored. And Rawiri Wano have been run over in Te Araroa by all those iwis. You know, the iwis, you've got it wrong when it comes to land titles, because that's why you got nothing. There's nothing much happening there until we come with the right titles. The same with Auckland. There's nothing going to happen with Maoris, because the Maori word is only made up in 1945. There's no Maoris before that, right? That's why the Scots say they were here before Maoris. They're right. They are technically and legally right. They were here before Maori because there was no Maoris here. And the Scots were here before 1840. Okay? Just to let you know. And we're operating from 1835. That's before the 1840 treaty. And no Maori can talk before 1840 because they come under the Queen's oath of office in Wellington and Australia, New South Wales, linked to Victoria in Australia. So all those titles and all the legacy and all the legal acts in Australia are legal. I'm just telling you and making a statement right here now. You're all illegal because of altering the Constitution and breaking off from the British Constitution and their sovereignty, and going with the Queen, because the Queen has left you stranded. You're all stranded. And this thing about the Union Jack flag, you think you're together now that the Scottish have lost to the Rothschilds and all the fraud, rigged voting. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make any difference. I told Tamaki, Sue, I told him that it's not going to make a difference to us and their flag. We still have the ruling authority of a king. Okay, I'm speaking king here, and Matt knows he's speaking like a king too. Okay, anybody who's been in kings will speak kings. Okay, so I just want to conclude this video to all the people who have been patiently waiting for us, and including the shares of our website standing still, because it wasn't going to happen. Nothing was going to go into the sea until we get rid of TPPA and fracking, and especially the TPPA and John Key. He's in government now, but he hasn't got a majority of people voting for him. And so some of them were rigged too as well, but he's got a problem. He's got a problem. This is the problem. He's in the box of this flag. He's in the dark box. And we can get him now. He can't escape another 3 years. So the best thing that ever happened was for him to be Prime Minister and to get Bill right in Parliament and got rid of that way and seize his properties in Hawaii. He'll lose all his properties, the lot, and even his account in Sweden. We're going straight in there. Okay, we've got our titles in place, we've got our documents in place, we've got our seal in place, we've got our constitution in place, and also jurisdiction in place. If there's any problem with that, we can't go into their court because it's lower. We don't go into their courts because it's lower. It's just an affidavit. Okay, the courts cannot inquire into this because you can see all the fraud and all the information. There's nothing for the judge to look for or suck off us to make him work, right? He can't go into here. It's not worth it because the police have got it now. You've got it. You're holding on to everything they've got. So everybody knows what everybody's got. Okay? It's either I'm lying or they're lying, right? He's wrong or I'm wrong. One or the other. That's why I'm wide open. I've got everything. I've never got a refutal or rebuttal of any of the affidavits yet. None. So this is an affidavit. This is an affidavit, right? It goes to him, Aaron Pasco. Again, he will never refute it because you know why? He just can't. So when he can't, he loses. He's already got an order on him, right? He says he don't want to get him contract. He'll have to tell the judge that in London, not here, in London, right? He'll have to pay his own way to get there because if he doesn't get there, he's got to get stung. They'll come here and get him. Right? They'll extradite him from here to there. It's probably he comes from there. Right? Everybody that's come from Britain to here and stirring up trouble here from Australia, you're going to get sent back to the courts over there. Okay? We'll extradite you there on your own expense. Right? You'll lose the land at the same time. When you leave, you'll lose the lot. I'm telling you now. There'll be a lot of people wanting to join this lot and this flag. This is a real flag. This is King George flag, the red bat, right? It's his brother, King William. So that's the German part of it, you see. So I'm not disregarding Germans. I'm just saying we're following the law, right? We're following their law and our law, right? Law, truth. Okay, that's all I want to say. Thank you very much. We'll catch you later. I better get on with this and put it all together so you can see it tonight. Jamie's waiting for this. Okay? And Jamie, you're doing a very good job. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for that. You get some 2 crayfish for that and some more on Sunday. Okay? Thank you. Bye.